So Rosie, moving on to the next movement. Firstly, how many exercises, I'm sure it varies, depends on the training you're doing, pre-contest or off-season. How many movements would you do for legs, generally?
I always do high volume, whether it's pre-contest or off-season. So maybe for hamstrings, I would do 4 or 5 different exercises, and then the same for quads, maybe 4 or 5 exercises.
Okay, and would you always train them on the same day together, or sometimes split them up?
That's the thing that changes. When it's off-season, I'll do them all in one day, and then pre-contest I'll split them up into 2 days and do glutes with both on both days.
Okay, brilliant. So what are we doing now?
We're going to do some static lunges today. At the moment I'm not doing any squats because I'm trying to bring my waist even smaller, so anything that uses too much of the core I'm taking out, so lunges are perfect for that.
Brilliant. There's many different variations of lunges. Obviously there's walking lunges, some people do them in a car park. There's a static lunge that Rosie's doing, and you'll notice she has sort of 2 taps at each lunge, and she does one leg at a time, but most people do them alternatively. Rosie, I noticed you do 2 sort of lunges in one there. What's the reason for that?
I just feel like I get a little bit of a stretch on the quad muscle when I do that, and it just puts a little bit more tension on the muscle as well. Okay,
very much. Coming back to what you mentioned, the reason why you're not doing squats is to make your waist a lot smaller. Now, for people out there that don't know, squats are really good development for overall body because they release a lot of growth hormone.
Yeah.
But as in reducing your waist size, why?
I always used to do quite heavy squats, and it's just one of the exercises the day after I feel my core. It feels like I've had an ab workout. So I'm just trying to be really sort of clever with my training, and anything that feels like it's not completely isolated on the area I'm wanting to work, then I'll take it out.
Okay, brilliant, yeah. Because ideally, as we know, on stage it's all about symmetry, and everyone wants a nice V taper shape. So you want a wide back, small waist, and obviously you've got to do what works for you.
Yeah, and before I started bodybuilding, I had a 22-inch waist. So it was really, really small. Now it's about 25 on stage. So I'm just trying to bring the lower back muscle down slightly and bring the core down slightly.
Okay,
so,
cool,
yeah.
Brilliant. Rosie, for the people out there, just give us a typical rundown of your daily day with regards to food and training.
Yeah, so now I'm off season, so my calories have increased. But I tend to off season drop my protein a little bit so that I'm not all year just hammering loads of protein in, and I'll up my healthy fats. So I love coconut oil. I'll cook all my food in coconut oil, and so you're getting your high calories in with that, but it's a good food. It's not going to make you fat. And just throw oats with everything. Yeah, just increase the carbs, increase the fats, and just drop the protein a little bit for the off season.
This is also done with maybe a plate in the hand, a barbell across the shoulders with different variations, and obviously Rosie's chosen to use dumbbells. Rosie, is this something you would maybe do in a car park, as I mentioned earlier?
Maybe not in the car park.
Down the M25?
Yeah, I got told off for doing that last time, so I stopped
M25.
doing that. Yeah, but I do like walking lunges. I feel like you get a lot of hamstring and glute as well when you do the walking lunges. So. And again, I like to do lots of little bouncy reps as well. Okay.
Would you always do it with dumbbells, or would you vary it?
I do always do it with dumbbells, yeah. I just feel like for balance, I don't really like it with the bar on my back. And yeah, I prefer dumbbells.
Cool, brilliant. So guys, moving on, we're on to the next movement, which is targeting the quads, leg extension. Rosie, how differently do you do this to the rest of us?
So as we were talking about before, that I'm trying to bring my waist down, I'm also trying to get even more of that X frame shape, so I'm trying to bring more outer sweep. So instead of going heavy like I used to do and just throwing it up, I'm going lighter, and I've changed my knees are closer together, my feet are closer together, and at the end I just do a little twist and point my toes outwards to hit the outer sweep.
Okay. So Rosie, for those that don't know, what is the outer sweep?
The outer sweep is just this curve here on the outside of the quad, quite a large portion of the quad. Already my teardrop's quite developed, but I just could do with just a little bit more thickness on the outside.
Rosie, off-season, obviously, how does your training differ between off-season and pre-comp? How many days a week you train? How much cardio do you throw in? Do you do cardio? Is it important?
Yes, cardio is important, but off-season, I must admit that's one thing that I do slack on. Because I still do dancing, I've got my cardio through teaching classes and stuff, so I find that I can keep in decent condition and keep my fitness levels fairly good with just the dancing classes that I do, so I don't do any other gym-based cardio whatsoever. But when it comes to competition, I'll do the hour fasted every morning, 6-7 days a week. The training off-season, I'll train like 5 days a week with weights, but pre-contest, it's every day. And I might do body parts twice a week. Some body parts like the glutes I'll do every single day after fasted cardio, so it's quite intense pre-contest.
So guys, with the leg extension, there's many variations. You could actually probably do a whole leg workout on leg extension, targeting the outer sweep, the teardrop, as Rosie just mentioned. And what you can see there, like she mentioned, legs close together, feet tight, but slowly open at the end, and that's targeting the outer sweep. Clearly working, you can see that you can see the muscle moving, and the development looks pretty intense. Rosie, I notice on each rep you give quite a considerable amount of squeeze at the top, and does that help with definition, mass building?
Yeah, with definition, getting all the cuts in, but also when I'm squeezing on my quads, I'm imagining that I'm pushing out against something. Okay. And I find that hits the outer sweep as well. Also, you can do it on the reverse side where you could imagine that you were squeezing inwards, and that can get the teardrop.
Okay, cool. So again, coming back to training, you recently competed at the Arnold Classic in Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah.
You had a good result. Could have been better. I personally, for one, can say I thought you should have won it. How was your physique different to the previous year when you came third?
Oh God, it was so different. The year before, I'd not had a great prep at all. Personal circumstances were sort of all over the place. So when I competed last year, I was actually about 4 or 5 pounds lighter in muscle. I'd really lost a lot of muscle. I was flat. I hadn't dieted as well. So this time I'd improved. Like my back was much thicker, wider. I was fuller on the day. I think I just had a much healthier looking physique this time.
So to the ladies, something we'll probably touch base on and get Rose's expert opinion. The women have this belief that touching weights will turn you into a muscle monster, which is not true. Rosie, if you wouldn't mind giving us your expert opinion, because for a lot of ladies out there, the resistance training, they believe you're just going to become this big ball of muscle, and a lot of people, women tend to avoid that. And I've never seen a woman with a very good physique doing cardio. What's your advice on?
I think a lot of women, they're scared of lifting weights, and they shouldn't be. I think get some good advice though about how to lift weights correctly. But it's going to be very rare that you would just blow up and get big. I wish. Yeah, I've been training with weights for 10 years, and it's taken me up until this point to really sort of build. And as you can see, I'm still not in any way freakishly over muscled. So
your advice is grab them weights and shift
get
them
hold of the weights, but get some advice of how to do it properly first.
So moving on to our next movement, we're going to be doing some standing calf raises. Rosie, I noticed you got a really good set of calves. Is that from bodybuilding or from the years of dancing, ballet?
Definitely not from dancing. My legs were just like straight up and down before I started bodybuilding. And for the first maybe 3 years of bodybuilding, not much was happening with my calves. And I started doing really high reps So instead of like your usual 15, I started doing 100 reps on calves. So today I'm just going to do like 40, 50 reps.
Is that 40, 50 rep sets?
That's the first set, then increase the weight and then drop the weight, the reps slightly.
Okay, so the first set, the reps are going to be 40 to 50 reps?
Yeah, but usually I'd do 100. Okay. Yeah, it's
That's a
awful.
nice little treat, guys. Nice little burn. What you've got to keep in mind, guys, as Rosie mentioned, and I found the same as myself, calves are made up of very tight fibers, and sometimes people go through a lot of training where they're just smashing hard and heavy weights and they find no change. So you've got to change it up. Hit the rep range of 100 or something. Try something different in order to get some kind of growth. If you're doing the same thing and you're making no progress, it's obviously something that needs changing. Rosie, you recently mentioned Inflex as the best poser. That's a very good achievement. What is so different to you with the posing routines you bring to the table?
Well, all the different entertainment skills that I've built up over the years with singing, acting, dancing, I just throw them all into the guest posing routine.
Like a big mixing bowl.
Yeah, and sometimes I kind of think, oh, should I do that? How is that going to be received? But usually the crowd just loves it, because I think that a lot of bodybuilding shows, it's kind of the same sort of level all the way through. People are doing very similar posing routines. So I've done like live rapping before. I get my music edited with me singing on the backing track, change all the words so it's got something relevant to bodybuilding. And yeah, it's just entertaining.
And posing from a personal point of view, as in posing from a personal point of view, your prep for comps, how important is that?
What, just the posing when I'm getting on stage? Yeah, really important. I guess I don't have to practice my posing as much as maybe some people would do, because I think all the years of dancing, I just know how it feels. I know how I'm going to look to the judges, so I know what angles to hit to show my body off to the best. So, but it's really important.
So what you've noticed here is the movement range. Firstly it was shorter, now it's longer, the speed of it, and obviously you can see the calf working. I mean, it's very clear. Luckily with Rosie's, the form she has and the carb development, you can see exactly the muscle working. There you can see like a two-stage calf raise, which comes with the feet almost parallel to the ground, and then she steps up onto the balls of her feet.
Oh. Burns.
Does kick in a bit of fire there, doesn't it?
Yeah, I find that when I do higher reps, it starts off, you can feel certain muscle fibres working, and by the end of it, there's fibres in there that you didn't even know you had all coming into play, because they've got to, because the others are burnt out.
Everything else is on fire.
Yeah.
So how many sets of that would you do?
Usually I'd do one set of 100, then I'd do a set of 50, higher weight, then a set of 25, a set of 12, so usually four.
Four sets.
So
always increasing the weight and reducing the reps.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Thanks for that, guys. That's the wrap of the show. Hopefully you've learned something from Rosie. She has a diverse training system that she utilizes. Do try this. Always be safe. Thanks for your time.